excited to see you all here tonight. As all of you knows, we reached almost the final part of the event 24 Hours of Chaos. For people watching for the first time, maybe I will introduce a bit the concept. 24 Hours of Chaos is an online event that inspires a lot of artists around the globe during 24 hours nonstop. It's divided by 12 shows and it covers almost all the countries. It started yesterday with the show 1 from UK, and we are now in show 10 that will cover the Middle East and North Africa. So massive congratulations for all the guests, the hosts, the organizers, and the technical team for your hard work and passion to contribute to such a great event, helping the 3D community to grow every day. A special thanks to Chaos Group and to Nigel Hand, the organizer of the event, and the owner of Shiny Software. So with us tonight, you will jump into beautiful presentations, and we're gonna see a hard work from our amazing guests. I'm sorry, I still have this double voice, so I cannot really speak. Okay. So we have presenters from Tunisia, from Qatar, from Egypt, Dubai, Lebanon, and we are hosting from Qatar and Tunisia. So I will now give the speech to my co-hosts, the great Samia Chelbi. It's always a pleasure to work with you.
Thank you, Samiha. Hello, everyone. Hello, show 10. Thank you, Samiha. Thank you, my dear, for this presentation, for all the amazing work that you are doing for the community, mostly in Tunisia and in Africa and the MENA region also. From my side, I am very glad that I am for the second time co-hosting with you, Samiha, and thank you for your trust and for the trust of Chaos Group to co-host this show. And I want to tell that I am learning a lot from this show, from those artists around this panel. So let me introduce myself. I am Samia Chelbi. I am a researcher, university researcher in computing science and creative technology. I am also social innovator in creative industry. I am expert in education, disruptive entrepreneur. I consider myself as disruptive entrepreneur, and I founded NetInfo, the School of 3D, since 1999. And actually, I have a new baby born in 2015, who is a DigiArt Living Lab, the laboratory of innovation of NetInfo. I want to wish you all a good show, and it will be a great show. Let's go. Thank you, Samiha, and thank you for you all.
Thank you so much, Samia. You are always a source of inspiration and motivation for all the 3D artists. So, all right, let's discover together our talented guests from many countries in MENA. And let's start by Rami.
Hello, everyone. It's an honor to be here, and a big thank you, of course, to Chaos Group and Nigel Hunt for this opportunity. It's my first time to go live with this event. I'm very happy. I'm a CG artist and co-founder of 88 Studio. I reside in Dubai, while I'm an Egyptian artist. And it's a great pleasure, as I said, to be here. We're going to go through a lot of stories of artists and how they started and where they have reached till now. And I'm sure we're going to enjoy this show. I would pass the speech to Mohamed Hesham now.
Good afternoon, everyone. How are you all? Hope everyone is doing well. My name is Mohamed Hesham. I'm an architect from Egypt. I'm currently working in Qatar. I graduated in 2012 from Alexandria University, and I moved to Qatar in 2014 and working in trust engineering consultancy from 2014 till the present date. And I'm very happy to be with you tonight.
So we have also Rita, she's here, yeah?
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Rita, and I'm really grateful to be part of this community today. Thank you, Samiha and Samia, for this beautiful show. And I'm really happy to share with everyone my work. And I'm a CG artist, and I'm almost 2 years working in this field. And I'll give my speech to Nidhal.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Nidhal, a 3D artist and game designer from Tunisia, also a graphic designer. I'm glad to be here with all of you, with all of these talented people here, to share my experience. So I started my journey as a 3D artist, and now I'm working as a graphic designer and a freelance 3D artist. Also, I'm working on my game that I will introduce later in this show. Thank you all, and thanks for everyone who organizing this great event.
Perfect. I'm so glad to have you all here. We are very excited to discover your journey, your vision, your life, your career through your talk. So let's start with our first guest, our first speaker. He's an Egyptian based in Dubai. He's a 3D artist with 17 years experience on this field. So he will share with us his beautiful story during her career. Rami?
Thank you very much, Samiha. Thank you very much for this introduction.
Welcome.
And yes, we'll be presenting now a video that will take you on my journey from the start of working with CG till date, where I've been exploring and experimenting with artificial intelligence, as many artists are doing right now. So I hope you enjoy this one.
My name is Rami Emad. I'm a 3D artist by profession, and at present co-founder at 88 Design Studio, an architecture, interior design, and CG studio. I would like to take you on a journey of how I went from studying computer science to becoming a 3D artist working in the visualization industry, and started doing concept artworks using artificial intelligence. In my final semester in university, I was introduced to a computer graphics course, but using coding, as my major was computer science. And it was quite interesting to me, what's computer graphics and how can you do computer graphics using coding, which I was never good at. So we got introduced to that, and our first assignment was to create an animation, again using coding, which was kind of, how am I gonna do that? I went back home, stayed for like 8-10 hours trying to do the animation. It was quite late at night when I was at last successful at doing a pixel, one pixel, moving from the right end of the monitor to the left. And I was so happy. I was like, wow, I could do an animation. And I actually woke up my parents and told them to come and take a look at it. And they were standing there waiting for the animation to start while it was actually going on. And I was looking at their faces and they are like, where's the animation? I'm like, here, it's a pixel, you know, it's moving from here to here. I was so happy, to be honest. And that day was the starting point of me leaving the computer science field, which I studied, and deciding to work in what I really like and what I found as to be as my talent and what I really want to pursue, my passion, which is CG. It took me like maybe 16 to 18 hours a day just practicing on 3D Max until I could actually reach to the level. At that time, we're talking about 2004, 2005, which felt like, okay, I could be considered as a 3D artist, as I could provide some output, some renders. The renders we used to see at that time were like, wow, hyper realistic to us, which if you see at the moment were like amateur art, as amateur work actually. So I've taken it from there, 9 months non-stop practice until I got an interview at an events company. They asked me to create a design for an exhibition stand. I stayed again the whole day, the whole night trying to do that. The assignment had to be submitted in a day. And I did an exhibition stand, which I was happy with. My father wasn't. He told me, Rami, this is not gonna work. It's not gonna get you the job. And I was like, no, this is enough. I went for a smoke. I came back and the file was shut. I tried opening it again and failed to open. It just didn't want to work. I had to repeat everything all over again. So I just took my dad's advice and I redid it to the way that he liked. I submitted that the next day and voila, here's the job. I got the job, I got hired. I jumped between 7 to 8 jobs in lesser than 10 years, from interior design firms to architectural firms, local, international firms. It was a great experience, to be honest. Like, for example, I've worked on the Louvre, Abu Dhabi. I've worked on Mall of the Emirates here in Dubai. I've worked on a celebrity private residence, Huda Beauty. It was a great experience. It's a great portfolio at the end for any artist to have. I started using 3D Max, and as every other artist at that time, we just had by default scanline and mental rate to render. The outputs were not great, and then V-Ray just came out. Kios Group just changed the whole rendering industry by introducing V-Ray to the market. It was like, wow, what quality is this, and how hyper-realistic could you get your renders to look like? The problem with V-Ray at that time was so many settings that you had to study and know exactly what each value would change in your render, but it was worth it, to be honest. I worked with V-Ray for around, let's say, 8 years or 10 years. And then I discovered Corona when it came out. It had other options that were not in V-Ray, like the light mixer. Worked for that for around 6 months because it was a short period, I know, to work with the render engine, but I got to discover about GPU renders like Octane Render. There was also, I think, Arion render engine, and these were like a game changer to me again, like how V-Ray was, because they had other options like the focus picker. That was crazy, because to do depth of field in your renders using a CPU-based render engine was quite hectic and made the computer take so much time calculating the values and the lighting and everything to get the realistic look. I worked with Octane for some time until I discovered F-Storm render engine. And this is my go-to solution until today. F-Storm has made things much easier, rendering much faster. It's again a GPU-based render, so you're rendering on your graphics card, not on your processor. And the difference here between CPU-based render engines and GPU-based render engines is, in CPU-based render engine, you need to have a very powerful processor with as much cores as you can. So for example, if you have a processor that's 10 core or 12 core, which gives you 20 to 24 threads of rendering, would give you a render at a fast pace, but at the same time, if you want to increase the speed of your render engine, you need to add another processor to your machine, which is quite expensive. Now, at the opposite side, GPU-based render, you need to have a graphics card that has a high number of CUDA cores. The CUDA cores are responsible for the speed of render. Now, again, in both cases, you have a limitation of loading your scene. So as much as your scene is complex, the more RAM you need in your computer or in your graphics card to be able to load the scene. So let's say, for example, in CPU-based render engines, you need to have a high RAM on your machine. You're talking about 64 GB and above. If it's 128, it's 256, 512 GB of RAM, that's even greater, because it gives you the opportunity to add as much detail as you can in your scene. Now, on the other side, if you're using a GPU-based render engine, which is using your graphics card, it depends on your VRAM, because it doesn't use the RAM in your machine, which is the 64 or 128 that you have. It doesn't use that at all to load the scene. It uses actually the VRAM on the graphics card to load the scene. And here you're talking about the maximum VRAM you have right now on an NVIDIA graphics card is 24 GB. And definitely that's not enough to load complex scenes. But of course, different render engines give different solutions to that part, like using proxies, like compressing bitmaps. All this gives you the chance to lower the amount of VRAM required to load your scene on your graphics card. So the more graphics cards you have, the faster your render will go. So back to me working as a visualizer at the architecture and interior design firms. I really didn't like working under other designers and architects, because they always told me, do this, do that, for the render to look better. While you've hired me as a creative to give you good renders. So you can't come and tell me, no, change this or change that in the render. I understand if you're talking about changes in the design, which is your field of work, but when it comes to my field of work, which is rendering, you gotta leave it up to me. It's my profession. I think this is what most of 3D artists think. So I've worked for, like, again, 10 years at firms, and then I thought, no, I need to change this. I need to freelance for some time. And my ultimate dream was to, of course, start my own studio. So I left my job and I freelanced for around a year or two. It was a great, again, opportunity, because I met with different designers other than the ones that I used to work with in the firms. And I did many different various projects, various types, from F&B to hospitality to architecture. It was a great chance to meet with other designers and do different projects. And after freelancing for 2 years, I thought, okay, I need to start my own studio. So I spoke to my wife and we came to a conclusion that, okay, that's the best thing to do right now and to move forward. But we started it all wrong. Actually, I started it all wrong, because I convinced her that in order for us to be able to have a good studio and do a good start, the image of the studio had to be wow. And so we took a loan. We hired a very expensive office, a big one, which we didn't need at the start, but never mind. We hired 4 visualizers at the start together, which was, again, something that's wrong to do. High salaries, top-notch machines, fit-out work so that the studio looked great when a client comes in. I thought it was for the propaganda of the look or the brand. but I was definitely wrong. And this is the worst thing anyone who's starting a business can do, guys. So please don't do this if you're planning to start a business. And don't start using a loan. Please don't do that. That's a very big mistake, as you'll just keep on paying your loan if you were forced to shut down your business at the end, which happened to me. I had to shut down the business 2.5 years later, almost 3 years later. The reason I had to shut down my first studio was all of a sudden there were no more projects coming in. I couldn't pay the salaries, I couldn't pay the rent, and it was a whole disaster. It was very stressful, actually. So I had to freelance after that for almost 2 years. At the same period of time, I had twins, so the responsibilities were more. And after the 2 years, we had to move accommodation and we had to look for a school for our kids. It was very stressful, not a very good time, but it's okay. Everything passes by, you can go through anything in this life. So we went looking for schools and new accommodation. There was a project which I worked on earlier with one of the designers. It was a great residential plus co-working space project. It was really nice finishes, beautiful vibe. I wanted to actually see things coming to life from the 3D renders which I created. Once we reached there, we actually found a school right next to the project. And we thought, okay, let's go to the school and check out what are the fees, if they would accept the kids or no, do an assessment. And it was all good, actually. The fees were suitable. They did the assessment to the kids. It was all good. They accepted the kids in the school, and it was quite surprising. It's everything coming together at the same time after this stressful 2 years. So we went to the project to check it out, just to see how it looks like. And it was just finished. The project was just completed. They haven't even started renting out the apartments. But the receptionist actually was quite nice to show us around. The finishes were amazing, the facilities, the co-working space. It was like a dream come true, to be honest. And I really wanted to stay there, especially that there was a co-working space where I could freelance for some time until I get another job. We asked them if we can rent an apartment there, and they were like, yeah, we can do that. You would be the first tenants here. And we were like, okay, how much would it cost? And the price was suitable. So we rented there, school was there, the co-working space where I freelanced was there, and it was great. Everything just turned around from being so stressful to very great, I freelanced in that co-working space for around a month. And then one day, an architect friend of mine just came to visit me in the co-working space. And he suggested, Rami, why don't we do a partnership and start a new business? But instead of just providing CG services, let's provide architecture, interior design, and CG. And I was like, full on, let's do it. And this was the start of 88 Design Studio. It was a great start. It was just me and my partner. And right now it's been 3 years, and the team has grown to 8 members, which is still growing, and it's going great. It's going great. Talking about AI and how it's going to change the game, the CG game. I think since the start of AI in the CG industry, which is around 2 months back, 2.5 months back, when we got to know about Midjourney. There's also DALL-E, there's Disco Diffusion, but Midjourney has been getting most of the attention. And experimenting and testing with Midjourney gave great results. Concept artworks that you could not imagine a computer can deliver with just a few text prompts from the artist side. I'm sure it's gonna change a lot. It's just started with images, but I'm sure it's gonna go into videos, voiceovers, music. It's just gonna change so many industries. Artificial intelligence, I think, is the way to go in the future. As an archivist artist, I would suggest not to keep on doing the same thing you're doing all the time. So if you're doing interior renders, for example, or architecture renders, you need to take a break from time to time. Do something different. Work on a personal project, work on a personal animation, and something that is different from architecture and interior design, just not to lose the passion and not to lose the skill and not to lose the eye for the composition. That's what I did, and that's what I actually do whenever I feel like I'm losing the passion, I'm losing some creativity in the archivist field. I just shift to another part of the CG industry, like, for example, do animations, use AI to create concept artworks, and this actually gets me back into the game. To be honest, all this would have never happened without the support of family and my wife. I couldn't thank them enough. My wife, she never complained. She was always supportive. If we fail together. If we succeed together. And that's the kind of support I think anyone would wish for. Thank you so much for all the support.
Bravo, yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes, if you permit me, I have a question to Rami. Bravo,
Sure.
Rami. What a story, really. It's a very, very atypical story. And
Thank you.
I want to congratulate you. Congratulations for this, for your courage, because you need a lot. We need a lot of courage to have this story. So my question, we really appreciate your advice, the advice that you gave to young people who want to launch their own business in this field. And you lived a failure with your first company, and after we learned a lot from your failures. Okay, can you tell us more to our audience and share with them what is the most important ingredients for success in this field when we decide to launch a business?
Okay, so as I said, I've learned a lot in the first studio that I opened, and I had to shut down. Well, as I said in the video, you cannot start. First of all, you cannot start using a loan. That's a big no. The second thing is you need to start small. You don't need to start big to become big. You need to start small, and you'll grow eventually, learning throughout the journey, because no one ever starts big and just keeps on going big. if you see when you start your business, if you see that things are just going so smooth all the time, know that there is something wrong happening. There has to be a fall down, failure in the middle, where you need to learn stuff, because none of us knows everything about everything, right? So I think this is the main point, is you need to always keep an eye on what you have to learn through the journey.
Thank you for your answer, but I am seeing a lot of reaction, huh? A lot, Samiha. Is it? We have a
Exactly.
lot of reaction on
A
the
lot of
comment
people are
chat. Yes.
commenting. Amazing, Rami.
Thank you,
Amazing.
Samia.
Bravo. So maybe I jump to a question from the audience. Somebody told you, what about using render forms or setting up one? He wants to know more about the render form.
Well, definitely you can go ahead and work with render farms, but the only thing is it's extra cost when you're doing this. While if you're rendering on your own machines, the cost is much lesser. Again, if you're going to render farms, you never know what might go wrong if you leave your render. Like for example, you just render overnight and wake up in the morning to just see how the render has gone, and there must be sometimes some wrong stuff happen, errors happen. It's at the end technology where errors can go, things can go wrong. You know? So I'd rather stay on my workstations.
All right. Okay, I have another question. How do you see the future of the 3D industry in general? I think it's about Midjourney and AI. Me too, I'm
Well,
a heavy
definitely.
user. Huh? So many people are asking about that, where we are going.
Okay, I'll tell you something that just happened yesterday. We just signed a contract with one of the biggest developers in Dubai that we're gonna do an architectural project with them using AI. So I think this answers where we are going with the AI, and will it be replacing not the 3D or CG industry, but a big part of it. And we need to catch up. You know, you can't just stay where you are and think that you'll be okay.
Congratulations for the contract, and yes, you have right. I think it's going to grow more, and it will become a job. Like I don't know, Midjourney artist.
Exactly. Or a
anyway,
artist.
thank you so much.
Thank
you so much, Rami.
Thank you, Samia.
So now we have to jump to our next guest, Mohamed Hesham, Egyptian architect based in Qatar. He will show us a full process of a project, a big project in Qatar. So, Mohamed.
Yes. Hi, Samiha. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Yes. Yeah, today I'm going to take you in a journey of typically how architects work with any project, and how CG and architectural visualizations aid our profession. And I have also a very interesting case study. So let's start. Good morning, afternoon, and evening for all who are watching us. My name is Mohamed Hesham, Egyptian project architect at Trust Engineering Consultancy. Today, I'm going to talk about our experience as an architects and designers with architectural visualization in one of our projects, which is Moza bin Mohammed Quran Center. First, I would like to give you a short introduction about who we are, what we do, and how our work as architects is structured, as well as our workflow to show the importance of architectural visualization in our process. Then I'll discuss our case study, which is Moza bin Mohammed Quran and Dawah Center, and show how did we use the architectural visualization technologies to deliver our ideas, and how architectural visualization recent technologies aided our profession. Last, I'll give a hint about the project status, recognition, and shortlisting. So let's start. So first, Trust Engineering Consultancy is a group of architects, artists, engineers, and professionals that are located and originated in Qatar with several international branches in Middle East and Europe. We are around 150 active employees, and we are established since 2008. We do building design, structural, systems design, sustainability assessments, urban planning, and any activity which is related to the building and construction industry. As an architects, we work in a certain flow, where after meeting our clients, we combine all the received client requirements, building codes, and regulations, and start the brainstorming process to find the best ideas that can satisfy our clients' needs. And here comes a role for Archviz, where we need to express those ideas to our clients that might have different backgrounds. So that's basically what we do in our process. Now I will talk about the case study for Moza bin Muhammad Quran and Dawah Center. In 2019, an architectural competition was announced by the General Directorate of Endowment, Awqaf, to design a new Islamic education center dedicated only for women. The project was required to be iconic, symbolic, and attract students from all over the Middle East. We started our brainstorming process and we found the desired source of inspiration, the cedar tree flower, which is native to Qatar and was mentioned in the Holy Quran in several positions. We were also inspired by the traditional elements of Islamic architecture, which will help to overcome some of the project challenges. These elements were the sahn or courtyard and the mashrabiyya, where both will help to reduce the temperature, maintain privacy, as well as adding an authentic touch to the building design. In order to express those ideas and implement these ideas on the building, we needed to submit several deliverables with different visualization styles in order for our client to digest the idea and get our design clearly. Those deliverables are basic diagrams, 3D renderings, and detailed diagrams. So in the basic diagrams, we wanted our message to be simple and informative. We wanted to show our client how our inspiration has turned into a building with masses. So we used basic 3D modeling with light located on one side so that the polygon faces can have different tones of light so you can feel the depths of the mass. Also, the material used was corona wire texture to define the mass edges, and if you take a closer look you can see the diagrams and how the building is transforming. So this concludes the first style of Archviz we used. The second submittal or deliverable was the renderings itself, which needed to be more realistic and clear to give a clear image on our design. And let's go through the renderings so we can have a better image about the project. And this shot shows our main human eye perspective. And this one shows our main entrance and access to the basement. And for this one, it's an aerial or bird eye shot. And this shot shows the internal courtyard design, and here is the top view for the internal courtyard as well. And these shots show the mosque renovation works. And our interior design for classes is inspired by the way students gathered in mosques to learn Quran. And here comes our interior design, our main entrance lobby. Also, I'd like to give a special thanks for one of our hosts, Samiha Dhifaoui, as she made a good contribution to the project interior designs. She designed some major spaces like the main entrance, auditorium, library, and VIP halls prototypes. And our last deliverable was the detailed diagrams, which we use to express the project different zones. We prefer to make this diagram animated so that the client can connect between the different zones on a horizontal level and on a vertical level. One of the things that I wanted to highlight as well is how ArchViz lately have developed and included new features and technologies that aided our production, saved our time, and helped us to be more efficient. The first feature I would like to talk about is the light mix. Light mix is featured in both Corona and V-Ray renderers. The light mix saved a lot of time, especially in trials and errors in lighting setup. Also, it helped us easily to detect lighting errors and find the root causes of any problems that we have in lighting setup. It also allowed us to achieve several lighting moods and effects without the need to re-render the whole scene, which increased for sure our productivity. One other important technology is the virtual reality sets, which places the user in an immersive environment, allowing the user to experience the realistic scale of the project, which will help visualizing future projects and spaces without the need to construct them. At the end, I would like to say that architectural visualization is a cornerstone in our industry. It helps us to express our ideas, solve future problems, and we as an architects will always be looking up for any development in the architectural visualization field. And before I end my presentation, I would like to highlight the current project status. So the competition was announced in 2019. We were announced as winners in the late 2020, and in July 2022 we were shortlisted in the World Architectural Festival 2022 award in the Future Building category, with a potential to win the category prize end of this year in Lisbon. The project permits were released last month, and it's going to hit the ground inshallah soon. Before I end my session, I would like to thank all the project team that worked hard to reach this result, and special thanks to our managing partner, engineer Mohamed Nabil, and our architects and engineers. Thank you, everyone.
That was great.
Thank you, Samia.
So it was amazing. Okay, so Hisham, as I'm a former colleague and I belong to the trust team, so as well I worked on this important project as interior designer. I really appreciate your presentation. I especially know how much this project means to you and how is the effort and the hard work that you contributed on it. It's really worth it. Congratulations, you did an amazing job.
Thank you very much.
So, by the way, I would like to say hello to Mr. Nabil, Jasminka, and Subir, and I congratulate all the team for this great achievement.
Thank you. For sure I'll tell them tomorrow.
For sure they are watching.
Yes.
Okay. So let's see questions. Do you have any questions? Let's see the audience. Madam?
Yes, if you want. Yes, I have a question to Hisham. Congratulations for this amazing presentation and for your contribution and for being in this in this team and being in this mega project and managing this mega project. We know in this kind of project, the main challenge is the market. Surely is the market. By the other hand, talents. I know well because this is my domain. Talents. It's very very challenge. Can you tell us more how you are doing about talents? Okay, and my second questions in the same one, it's about how you manage your work. You are working in house, all projects are managed in house, or you are outsourcing few projects.
Okay. I think your questions are connected somehow, so I will start with the end of your question. No, not everything we are doing in-house. We did most of the parts in-house, and luckily we have like a client that have some kind of motive and vision for the project, and they want the best for their project for sure. And for example, you can see some artworks that we used in Arabic calligraphy. This Arabic calligraphy, for example, is done in Syria with a professor in Syria in Damascus University who did all the calligraphy work. So this was part of outsourcing. But in our office, we mainly did the design, all the engineering work, and interior design as well. So most of the work was done in-house, even the 3D. Most of the 3D we are doing in-house.
And for where you recruit your talents, all your talents are in-house, also are recruited in Doha, or you are working with freelancer from few countries.
No. Currently, because our company size is a little bit big, so we have like branch in Egypt, we have branch in Bosnia, we have
Okay.
some, like we hire some people also in India, like contractors, not freelancers. So we have all the talents that we can support our project at this moment. Sometimes if we need some specialized item, some specialist opinion, some input from a specialist like this calligraphy, for example, yeah, we can hire for sure some outsourcing or freelancing people.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Hisham.
Thank you.
We
Thank you,
have
Samia.
reached almost 1 hour from the show. So our next speaker.
Yes, our next speaker and woman speaker from a beautiful woman from beautiful country, Lebanon. Okay, welcome, and we are very happy to have with us Rita, 3D artist, and let's go to your show directly, Rita. Tell us more about you, about your work via this show. Thank you.
Hello, thank you, Rita. And I am really thankful to be part of this community. I am 26 years old. I've been working in this field for almost 2 years. And today I'm gonna show you a video about my country, my renders, and why I chose to be a CG artist. I was born in Lebanon, country located in the eastern shore of the Mediterranean Sea. Lebanon is definitely one of the world's most historical places. Where we have ancient ruins, to well-preserved castles, historic churches and mosques, beautiful beaches, breathtaking mountains, and to non-stop nightlife.
is Beirut. It's the largest city in Lebanon. Beirut has been inhabited for more than 500 years and has one of the Phoenicians' most prominent city-states, making it one of the oldest cities in the world. I went to Beirut 2 days ago. The city now features modern buildings alongside Arabesque Ottoman buildings, as well as Roman and Byzantine structures. There are hundreds of art galleries. I'm gonna show you a few of them. Art has always had a home in Lebanon where all artists can come and get inspired by its nature. All the mountains, the views, the roads, the sea, where I can stay forever just looking and learning how to adjust in the texturing, the lighting, the shadows in each render that I do. Sometimes it might take hours to have a great result and to achieve a realistic render. And that's why I truly believe that being a CG artist is not that easy. It might take days and sleepless nights and back pains and a lot of coffees. At first, as a very outgoing person, it was really hard for me because I was staying at home, stressing about the project, and FaceTiming my friends while they were partying and having fun. So it was really hard. But the passion inside me and the patience was the only key to be able to continue and do what I really love. And while doing a project, you should know that doing hundreds and hundreds of mistakes is very normal, and that's how you learn. That's how you're gonna improve yourself. And you should not be in a hurry to finish a project because everything that is good takes time. So for me, I never give up. I always learn from my mistakes, and I always try to improve myself every time. And that's how you're gonna achieve a good result. As every day passes by, I notice that everything we do in life, whether it's the smallest things at any time, we need to make the best out of it, and by doing the things you love. Of course, we may face a lot of challenges and have the urge to give up due to how difficult things can get, and especially not having the required time. But after achieving our goals, we end up feeling relieved since we come into conclusion that our efforts and time hasn't been thrown into waste, and appreciate our own hard work since it's one step away to success.
Yes, very, very great work. And thank you for this beautiful visit, touristic visit, and artistic visit in your country and also in your portfolio. Thank you a lot. And my question, I have a question, maybe Samiha have one also, and about in your inspiration process, in your creation. You highlighted the richness of cultural heritage of your country, of Lebanon, and we know this that Lebanon has a rich cultural heritage. But we didn't find this directly in your render and your concept. We are in the minimalist rendering renders. So, what is the impact of the cultural heritage on your processing, on your inspiration?
So, hello.
Hello, yes, we can hear you.
Okay,
Yes.
first of all, thank you, Samia. And I'm really happy that I had to share the beautiful image of Lebanon in this video and the cultures that we have. And of course, I didn't have the time to do a project about Lebanon, but I'm really willing to do a big project about it and show the beautiful architecture that we have and the nature and the interiors. And it's gonna be soon. So I'm gonna do soon a project about it.
Yes, great. Yes, great. Because we want to share this with all the world via your artistic and your beautiful renders. So my second questions, as
Yeah.
3D artists, as women, okay, what is the strongest challenge that you faced? And what about your recipe? You shared with all the audience a few tips, but we want to learn more from this, your challenge in this field as a woman also.
Okay, so the biggest challenge for me as a woman in Lebanon is the situation that we had in Lebanon. It was, we've been through a lot. We had a lot of crises. We didn't have any connection. And even there's a lot of conflicts, like you can see in the news. And this was a very big challenge for me, and especially in the lockdown when we didn't have enough internet and electricity, I had to challenge myself a lot and do a very, very hard work for myself. But for me, I always had this mindset that in every woman is very strong, and unless is very strong if she really believes in herself and if she really believes in her goals. So for me, I have too many goals to achieve, and I'm willing to work on it a lot.
Yes, great. I don't know if Samiha has a question. Yes, you are here, Samiha. You are in mute, please, Samiha.
Sorry,
Yes.
a lot of technical problem today. Thank you so much, Rita, for your presentation. I think a lot of people now want to go to Lebanon. In between, so Reggie said that you would.
They are very welcome.
Yeah, that's amazing. So let's back to Hisham about the question from the
Yes,
audience.
yeah, I think he was asking why did we choose a pentagon shape?
Okay.
In the presentation, you'll find one slide. Maybe I didn't go deep enough because it would take much more time to describe. But the initial concept of the center, we were looking for some source of inspiration that is related to Qatar and women, as well as to resemble Islam in the end. So we tried to search for the concept that can fit most of these elements together, and we found that we can get that from cedar tree flower. There is a flower on the cedar tree branches, which is very small and delicate. And this flower has like 5 petals. Like when you connect it together all, you can see the shape of the pentagon. And the heart of the flower itself is in a different form of a pentagon also. It's like differently oriented. So we got the inspiration of this building through that flower petal arrangement. And in the first diagram I explained, you will find that you have 2 types of pentagons above each other and twisting, and then it transformed according to the building requirement and the design we did.
Thank you, Hisham. Mohamed
Samia.
Gharib, I think you got the answer now. Okay, and now you comment for Rita, right? I love your approach of minimalism. This is for Rita from Mohamed Gharib. So let's jump now to a special guest from Tunisia. So Nidhal is a senior 3D environment artist from Tunisia. He's passionate by game art, and he always dazzles us by his posts on Facebook about his game. What is amazing here is this guy is creating his own game alone, from character to environment to story, everything he's doing alone. This is just awesome. So we are now finalizing the show, and here is our fourth guest. So I give you the speech, Nidhal.
Okay, so hi everyone again. Let me share my screen with you. Okay, so let's start. So I already introduced myself. So just in this slide, I will introduce my career as a 3D artist and my experience in the industry, how everything started and how it becomes now. So firstly, I started as a 3D artist, junior, not senior. And my first experience, professional experience, was with the CGS studio, and my first also experience was working on a 3D series for kids in collaboration with Cyber Group, with Cyber Studios, also. So I worked as a modeling and props artist, shading and lighting the scenes. So in this TV series for kids, so it was 75 episodes, and a lot of work on this, and a lot of collaboration with the animators and riggers. And as a part of the modeling team, also I was taking the responsibility of modeling assets and props. So this is my first project. So my second project was a 3D TV teaser for kids also, but in a different style. And this one was very challenging because the initial work was 3D, but the output requested is a 2D outlined output, and it's very challenging to transform and translate this 3D scenes to 2D arts. So also this is a French 3D TV teaser. So another project I worked on is a commercial TV ad that was published in Tunisia. For this project, we worked with V-Ray as our primary render engine. My main tasks was modeling some assets and props like the robot here and the chocolate in the hand of the boy. And I was working on shading and lighting the scenes and rendering the final output. Also, I worked on some sensibilization 3D teasers. One of them is the World for USA. So my main tasks here was modeling, assets and props, shading, lighting, and rendering. So, and now let's present some personal projects I'm working on. So this project is my latest and my most recent project. It was done with it was rendered with V-Ray for Maya. I used Maya and Substance Painter for modeling and texturing the assets. Word Creator for creating this large terrain. Character Creator for creating some characters, and Chaos Cosmos for some assets here, like these vents, which are in the background. Megascans for some rocks, and I blended them with the landscape. And V-Ray and I used the latest version, V-Ray 6, which comes with the option for procedural clouds. So as you can see here, combined with the V-Ray sun and sky to give this realistic sky look. Also, I created some variations using some HDRI images to change the lighting on this environment. So a dusk version and a night version. So here how the scene looks in Maya. So I used mesh in Maya to scatter all the foliage, and I also used V-Ray to create the materials for the landscape and for everything here, and to light and shade the scene. So here another personal project, Tales from Giza. This one was created in 3ds Max and rendered with Corona, with also creating the terrain with World Creator and Quixel Mixer for texturing. So this is another view. Here some Archviz projects for some interiors. So with 3ds Max and V-Ray. As you can see here, some product visualizations with Maya and V-Ray, and some post-production in Photoshop. And now I will introduce a big personal project I started working on past year. So it's a personal game or a demo, not a full game, but a playable demo. That is an RPG open world game that takes place in Schengel in Norway in 801 AD. So the age of the construction of the Vikings community. So the scenario of the game, so Ragnar is a child who lost his family during some wars, and he will take revenge and reunite the Vikings and create the Viking kingdom. So the references I followed, some Viking TV series, some games like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, God of War for the Nordic environment design, and some concept art on the net from talented artists around the world. So the tools that I used for the development of the game are Maya, 3ds Max, Character Creator, Substance Painter, and Designer, SpeedTree, Gaia, and Unreal Engine 4. And later on, I migrated the game to Unreal Engine 5 to take advantage of the new lighting and the new nanite system. So the platform will be games for Windows, so it will be compatible for Windows 10 and 11. So this is a quick introduction on the game. I will start showing you some screenshots from the game, and later on I will show you some real-time footage directly from the game engine. So here's the main character, and these are some renders from the engine. So the game will feature a third-person game mode. It's an RPG open world. This is the main character. So here's some environments. Here the shading of the characters. So all what you are seeing here is in real time. So it's not pre-rendered, but it's calculated in real time. So, and now I will let you with the video that have some some real-time footage directly from the engine, and also some other projects, real-time projects I worked on during the past few months. So thank you all for watching. Uh, I would like at the end of this presentation to thank a lot my father who passed away 5 years ago, my wife who supporting me every day, and Madame Samia who also supported me and gave me the chance to teach at NetInfo 3D game environment production for real time. And also, I would like to thank everyone who organized this event and Samiha for the invite. Thank you all and hope to see you in another moments, great moments like this.
Thank you, Nidhal.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Really, I am very, very proud of you and of Samiha and all talents around what we are doing in Africa from Tunisia. Great work and bravo for all this amazing work. Always, when I am seeing you, I am asking myself how you can do all this, because I know you have your life, if I can say it, you have your life work. How you can be a versatile 3D artist. You are working, you have your work, okay, but in your free time you are working on all those projects. Can you give us the recipe? Can you give us the tips and share this with our audience, please?
Okay, so uh, as simple as that. So I was fascinated by what I'm doing. So from my childhood, I was drawn to this world of video games, movies, and everything that is related to CG. So I'm always checking the latest news, the latest technologies. Also, if you are asking how how I'm doing all these tasks, like creating the characters, then animating them, then rigging them, then animating, then lighting, and doing all the pipeline. I have 7 years of professional experience. I worked on several projects with several teams, and I interacted every day with animators, with character riggers, and with concept artists also. So this accumulation of experience and knowledge uh, gives me a solid foundation in other tips. So I'm not a professional, for example, a professional animator or professional rigger, but I know the basics, and from there I can develop something that is not perfect. Any animator could, any professional animator could detect some issues in my animation work. In that's very normal, because no one could be uh, benevolent 100% in everything and perfect in everything. But the things that I'm concentrated more on are modeling, texturing, and rendering, and this is what gives the artwork its final touch. Uh, Tips like things like rigging and animation are also very important, but as a single person, you are working on a big project like this, so it's there is some bleed of tolerance for some things, and this is a work of a whole studio. So if a studio will work on such a big project like this, the output for the animation and rigging, for example, will be way more better, because the work will be splitted on multiple people. But I love what I'm doing, and I'm fascinating and drawn to this world of creativity, and that's all. If you have any other question, I am here.
Yes, I have another question for you,
Yes,
because I know well that you are now focused on the 3D real time
yes,
production process, and I know well also it's not easy to be in this field. And adding this, you have a vision for your game. You are producing a game by yourself. Can you share with us your vision when your game will be on the market? What about your vision around this game? It's just for fun, it's just for you, or you have in the future you want to launch your own business around video game production?
yes. That's a very important question. So for the moment, uh, I defined late 2023 for the first release of the demo. It's not a full game, sure, because a full game needs a full studio and a lot of time. As you know, all I'm working on it in only my free time. But I'm planning to firstly release the demo and get feedback, and then I will expand expand it to a full game and launch a studio that will work on this one. So everything begins with the first step, and I'm on the first step.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Maybe Samiha or the audience, you have questions from the audience. You are muted, Samiha.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Nidhal, for this presentation. We have a lot of comments on YouTube, so let's
I also
this is
wanted to comment.
incredible. Yeah,
I think
Rami?
Theodora asked the question.
Excuse me, Rami?
I think
I
Theodora
think,
asked the question.
yes, I think Rami has a questions. We can go to the
Uh,
question of
well,
Rami
it's
question,
not it's
please.
not it's not a question actually. I just wanted to congratulate him for all what he's doing, because seriously, this work is very tedious, and not one person can do this on his own. To be honest, yani, bravo, 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 Nidal. I can't tell you how much proud of an Arab doing this by himself.
Thank you so
Yes,
much.
and
Thank you.
I confirm, I confirm
Exactly.
this. Yes,
Exactly. We see this big talent comes from Tunisia. So this is, I'm very proud. I'm very proud of you. And a lot of people are commenting, incredible how you did that. Nice lighting. Perfect. The graphic is good. Good luck. Wonderful work. So
Thanks for them all.
we have also two questions. They say, what's your opinion on the current state of the gaming industry, seen technically, photorealism, but also emotionally, like storytelling, etc.
So, as I understood the question, so what is my vision on the current gaming industry?
Exactly.
Yes, so
So
for the
let's talking about photorealism, also emotional, like storytelling, composition, and technically also. So
yes,
how you manage all this?
so just to give an overview idea of this, so as you know, the current technology is going more and more towards real-time production. The tools and the also the hardware are evolved too much, and we are on a stage that we are in something called cinematic gameplay, where we cannot distinguish between cinematic and real gameplay. So these tools and these technologies allows us for the developing the visuals to a level that are very realistic, and as you can know, with the recent game engines like Unreal and many other game engines, but mainly Unreal, uh, brings a new set of new technologies to develop photorealism and to reach levels of detail that could not be reached before with the limitation of software and hardware. And only it's the work of the artist now to bring all of this to life. So for the scenario and for the storytelling, I think it's a very challenging thing when you have all of this technology, and you should think a lot about the storytelling side of your game or your movie or your artwork, because it's also a very important thing. So people will look at the visuals. It's true. The visuals will be the first thing that will attract them, but then they will look for some fascinating stories, something different. And this is the real challenge, is to calibrate between the visuals and the story of the product itself.
Thank you so much, Nizam. I think we have another question. They told you, how do you see your future as a 3D artist in service of ArcViz or more as a game developer?
So really, I'm drawn to real-time production. So I think I will continue to look forward and to advance in this field. But also, I have the necessary and the basic knowledge for pre-calculated rendering when I need it. So when you work on games, for example, you will need this for creating cinematics for your games, because game engines, even with this technology, are not yet ready to do many things like photorealistic simulations, fluid simulations, and liquid simulations. So we are in the we still in the need of the pre-calculated rendering and the render engines to work with the game engines and to create the whole experience.
Perfect.
When we reach a level that we know more, we no more need render engines for gaming, I say. This is another story, but for now it's a long way, and I think it will not be as soon as we might think.
Great point of view. Thank you, Nidhal. May I ask you also, talking about jobs and sector, I know that you are a trainer.
Yes.
So can you tell us what is the contribution of this training activity to your career?
Yes, so this adds a lot to my knowledge, as the pedagogical side was missing from my experience. So you, as I worked for years as an executor and a creator, but I'm not translating this to other people. The fun and the mission of translating what's in your mind, your whole experience to other people is another real challenge in your life. So it's another experience, and I think uh, it adds a lot to my career path as an instructor. And by the way, I would like to thank Madame Samia for giving me this opportunity and trusting me to take the lead on this mission. And I would like also to thank all my collaborators at NetInfo who worked with me and who made this collaboration in this work of art and experience very pleasing for me. Thanks for them all.
Thank you so much, Nidhal.
Thanks.
Thank you. So as we have more time, let's back to previous question from the audience for Rami. So someone told you, do you know anything about how Midjourney again? Midjourney everywhere. So how Midjourney and license works? Do you see there being big legal issues in the near future?
Well, to be honest, I don't think there will be legal issues because lately, Midjourney, they made an announcement that the licensing goes for both the artist and Midjourney itself. So both can use it in their own way. So they both have the copyright for this. So I don't think there's going to be any problem here. Especially that, see, the outputs that come from the AI itself is never perfect. It's a beautiful image which you can use to add on, like for example, mix it with other 3D models that you need to incorporate in the scene. For example, also you can produce a few images from the journey and mix them together in Photoshop, which again gives you a unique image which has not been produced by AI itself alone. It has been produced by you in collaboration with the AI system. So I think there are no problems in the future in this.
You are muted, Samiha.
Okay.
Yes.
So as I said, there's a lot of to see in this generator, let's say. A lot of people are using it in many sectors like fashion design, food,
Yes.
photography, anything. So personally, I don't know where we are going. I don't know. I don't want to say something false. So okay, let's see the winners. We have
Please,
yeah,
Samiha, I have a question to Rami.
sure.
Yes. Please, actually, you talk about innovation, about AI. What about metaverse? What about those trendies?
Mm.
Actually, metaverse, blockchain, crypto, and what about the impact on the 3D industry? It will be an opportunity for 3D artists, okay, in terms of intellectual property, because will be in decentralized. That be the 3D artist will master his creation. He has the power on his creation.
Mhm.
What about this? What about your idea about this? What about your vision?
Okay, so regarding the metaverse, and when it first came out, I was very interested also to look into it. It's a great opportunity for 3D artists to put their vision, because right now you're talking about building even architecture and interior in the metaverse, and you're not constrained to the real life proportions and looks and everything. So all the creativity from the artists can show in the metaverse. They can have their own worlds there, and but unfortunately I didn't get the chance to really work on it because Midjourney just came in and took my heart.
Yes, it's
So
it's
yeah,
it's normal, Rami. Until now, we don't have a really a good definition
definitely.
of
Yes,
of metaverse. It's
yes.
really an innovation for all the world. But I think this is wins, and we should be. According to me, it's an opportunity for 3D artists to be in this movement, to be in this, because all what we will be created in metaverse, it will be in 3D. And this is
Definitely.
a
And
huge opportunity, a huge demand for talents. And we can, if you want to do a business, is the good moment, actually. I
yes,
think, and I believe on this.
and I think also, sometimes trends come out and they just go, but I think metaverse and artificial intelligence are here to stay for a long time.
Yes, sure.
Yeah.
My mic. Thank you, Rami. So
Thank
it
you,
jumped
Samia. Thank you,
from
Samia.
artists to AI to metaverse to gaming art. So here we have some winners. The social media giveaway winner is Theodore Vladov, who posted on LinkedIn. So you won a giveaway. So, and the raffle winner is Mohamed Tawfiq Tikaya from Tunisia. Tikaya, no, I don't know. So congratulations for the prizes. So here we are. We finished our show. 2 hour already. We talked about a lot. So it was a pleasure to see you, to hear about your stories, about your work. I'm really happy to be with you and to share with you this great moment. Rita, we're gonna come to Lebanon soon. This is very beautiful what you did, and also your renders are amazing. Nidhal, I'm very proud of you. I hope you got the support soon, and I hope this video game will see the light soon and you launch it. And I wish you a lot of success, and you deserve it.
Thanks a lot.
Mohamed Hesham, wish you a lot of success also. A lot of
Thank you very much.
good projects and competition winners.
Ya Rab. Inshallah.
Exactly. Rami,
By the
also,
way, I'm sitting in
yeah.
your desk.
Really?
Yeah.
Actually,
They
I'm
have very nice background.
formal. Yeah, this is my desk in trust engineering. I'm former interior design. So it was a great experience with you. Don't
Sure.
stay at my desk. Move on.
I
My
use it
computer
somehow.
also. And okay, Rita, I think you have a problem anyway. Thank you so much. Rami Emad, I wish you a lot of success also with your great company.
Thank you very much.
And continue sharing the mid journey. I think you are from the people who the beginner who discovered
Yes.
mid journey.
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
exactly.
Yeah.
So continue working on your visuals, on
I'm
everything.
hoping also will be one of the first companies to use Midjourney and artificial intelligence in ArchViz and all this architecture field. Yeah, hopefully.
Extraordinary. This is very
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, everyone. So see you next year, maybe.
Yes,
Inshallah.
thank you, Samiha,
Thank
for
you.
this opportunity. Thank you, Chaos. I learned a lot. Thank you for all our panelists. Thank you, thank you. Really, I am very honored to be with you today. I learned a lot from you, and thank you, Samiha, for having me for the second time and co-hosting this amazing event. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So let's quit here, and we have the show 11 will start for South Africa. So you have a lot to see. And goodbye.
Bye.
Thanks all. Goodbye.